said, next time I'll win. And then she crushed
Absolutely
us.
crushed us.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Ilya.
My name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And today we'll be helping you choose the very first games you may want to play.
Ooh.
5 games for beginners.
Of course, these games can be enjoyed by anybody in the hobby, but we thought they would be perfect recommendations for folks like who are just starting out their collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, how do we choose these 5 games?
I think we sprinkled in a bit of like different mechanics in every single one of them. Yeah, sprinkle. They're easy to teach. I think a lot of them are very replayable, and they're not like too long. So that's...
These are also some of the games that we love quite a bit,
yeah,
and continue to be the games that we show to all the people. So we kind of use that methodology, sprinkled in some love in there, and now we're here to tell you about the 5 games. Should we get started?
Let's get it done.
First game we have is Point Salad.
We're making a salad.
So this is from the folks over at Flat Out Games and AEG, and in this game, you are making a salad.
You're going to be essentially setting it up in a 3x3 grid. One of the rows will have goals, and that'll hold the rest of the deck. But the cool thing about it is you're either going to be taking veggies, which are the other 2 rows, or you're going to be taking a single goal, and you're basically going to be building up this nice little goal score pointing engine that at the end, whoever has the most points ends up winning.
Seems very simple. It's only cards, but the fact that they're double-sided, with one side being the veggies and the other being the goal, is really interesting, because on your turn you may want a goal that is on the board, but Tyler picked the veggies, and then the goals flip over, and that goal is gone, and you can never get it again.
Yes. Yeah.
Until you play the next time, of course.
Yeah, and this game takes like 15-20 minutes to play, so once you get going, you can kind of just like play it again right after, and that's awesome.
It's a great game to also teach a set collection, because you understand how to score negative points and positive points. And by the end of it all, you have a lovely point salad.
Yay! Next up, we have the biggest box of the games that we're going to show you, a game called Pictures from Rio Grande Games. This is a party-esque type game. I say that because it only plays up to 5 players, but what you're going to be doing in this game is drawing a token from a bag that is going to give you coordinates to a picture that you are now going to recreate using a specific material that you're provided at the start of the turn. And everybody has to do this. Then you have to guess what everybody else was trying to make, and you want to try to do it correctly.
It's very fun because all the different pictures allow you to express your creativity in different ways. This game also won Game of the Year back in 2020, I believe, right prior to COVID. Because this is a much more social game, I feel like it did not get the recognition it truly deserves, but it is a blast of a game, and there's also expansions that add in various materials, and I believe increase the player count.
It'd be pretty easy to increase the player count for sure. So the nice thing about this is everybody gets to use the materials, and that's like the entire game. So like in this, it's 5 rounds, and you get a variety of different things, like from cards to strings to sticks and stones.
I like the little colored cubes. Those are my
the
favorite.
Colored cubes are where I feel like I can get the most creative.
Feels like a pixelated version of the picture.
Yes, but you're limited to 9 cubes.
Just 9 pixels.
Anyways, that is Pictures.
Now the next we have is a true classic.
Yes.
It is Azul from Michael Kiesling. Now this is an abstract strategy tile drafting game where you'll be selecting tiles from the center and placing them on your grid, hoping to create a certain pattern that scores you the most points. Now this game has it all. It has drafting either little or a lot of tiles depending on how the game progresses. You also can potentially score negative points or get your opponents to score negative points if you draft very wisely. But all of it is you're planning, you're getting that immediate gratification for scoring some of those points. And it's a game you'll want to come back to again and again because of its sheer elegance and the clicky clackies of the tiles.
Yeah, they're not acrylic, but the tiles that they do have are...
They might be acrylic.
Yeah. Anyways, the tiles are really fantastic. And then the cool thing about this is like, it starts off relatively slow. So you do intermediate scoring essentially when all the tiles run out. And the points you end up scoring are very slow at the start, and then they become more and more as you begin to fill your board and combo off essentially. And that feels really, really good, but it's also a way to ease people into the game. And I think that's a really interesting and smart way to get people going with the game, but also teach them the ways that the scoring will develop over time.
It's also one of those games that as soon as you'll play, you'll see what you want to improve on, and you'll likely play again. Yeah. Almost anyone we've showed this game, they said, hey, let's try one more time because I want to improve my strategy. Yeah. And famously, my mom said that to us, and she said, next time I'll win. And then she crushed
Absolutely
us.
crushed us. Yeah.
She was ready. She implemented all her learnings and crushed us.
Yeah. I'm always happy to play this game. I'm not necessarily the greatest at it, but it is a lot of fun. I will also mention that if you do end up loving this game, there is an entire Azul line that you can take a look at. But
and a mini version. You can get a compact version of Azul, so you can bring it with you when you travel.
Yeah, exactly. But with that out of the way, that is Azul. Next up, we have a flip and write called Super Mega Lucky Box. This one is from Game Right, and essentially you're playing like a pseudo tic-tac-toe, because what you're going to be doing is at the start of every round or turn, people will flip a card over, and everybody will look at the cards that they have and cross off the number that comes out. The fun thing about this is there are a lot of combos, so when you do make a row or a column, you unlock a number that you can then cross off somewhere else, and then you can then combo it off even further. You can end up scoring a lot of points in this game, and the simplicity of just crossing out numbers, but the strategy of when and how, and then the luck of when the card actually comes up is always entertaining.
This also introduces the whole genre of flip and write or roll and write. Yes. And this one does in such a fun way because you have your dry erase markers on the low cards. So everything you're doing, you can kind of create your own little board, and it just feels so good to get all those combinations happening. You truly feel super mega lucky. And
you can play with up to 6 players, but the great thing about this game is it's simultaneous play, so none of you are never stuck doing nothing. And that feels really good because everybody stays involved the entire game.
Exactly.
And that's Super Mega Lucky Box.
And the last one we have is Cities. So this is a game from Devere. It is a newer one, but it's one that's become a classic in our household. Now, the way you play is you simply take your little worker, you place it where you want, either the buildings, the places where the buildings go, a goal for your city, or a little monument that you can put in your city. And then you're building a little neighborhood within your city. There's multiple ways of scoring. A lot of the scoring conditions you'll actually build yourself through the scoring cards. But all in all, you're trying to build a 9x9 little city. And who's ever
9x9. Oh yeah, I guess because it's 3x3 tiles.
3x3.
but there is actually more spaces on the.
There is. Yeah. It is a 3x3 tile.
Yes.
City.
Yes.
Not a 9x9 because that'd be a long game. But all in all, it's one of those games that you want to come back to because there's different cities with different scoring conditions. The way that you draft is always really interesting. But the simplicity in that drafting of placing your person with where you want to go, because you'll collect one of the 4 things by the end of the round. But the order that you collect them is up to you. So if you really, really want specific buildings, you can go get the buildings first. And maybe other players will miss out on the ones that they need.
Yeah, exactly. This is a great way to introduce worker placement to anybody. It is the longest game in the list that we've provided. This one only takes, well, it says it takes 45 minutes to play.
Probably similar to Azul.
Yeah, that's probably right. I think Azul can sometimes take that long if you're playing with all players. But the nice thing about this game, like Ilya said, is you're taking all 4 actions every round. And I think that's really important because all it amounts to is like when you do it. And it's rather than deciding which spots to go to, you always know you're going to go to those spots. It's just a matter of when.
Just a matter of when. And that is
Cities.
So those 5 games would be a recommendation for you to start out your collection or play as a beginner.
What did you think? Did you like this video? Did you like these games? Give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, because we love talking and chatting board games just like this.
We sure do. And for our question of the day, what is the first board game you've ever played?
Oh, that was throwing a wrench into it. I definitely thought you were going to ask what would you recommend.
No.
But the first game you ever played, that would be a good recommendation for a beginner, I'm sure.
Maybe. Or maybe you got thrown into something wild.
Ooh, that's got a story.
Let us know in the comments down below.
Until next time, though, we will see you later. Bye!